So I just come out of the ocean and was getting ready to leave the beach when I asked my wife Helen to give me back the wedding ring that I asked her to hold while I was in there. And she said, "Oh, I had it on my thumb. I must have dropped it in the sand when I was packing up." And it was immediately we were both looking frantically all over. We turned over every grain of sand we could reach, and we were not finding it in the spot there. Now, this was not a family heirloom. It was a plain gold wedding band that didn't have a lot of inherent value. But still, I knew she was sad and felt very guilty about its loss. And I did too, because I could have easily walked it back to the room. So it wasn't her fault it was lost. It wasn't my fault. Like, you know, we lost the ring. It wasn't that she lost it was we lost it. And I thought, well, if we lost it, then we could find it, I hope. And I don't really like to solve problems when I'm on vacation. This problem is a very different kind of problem than what I was used to dealing in my professional life. And my mind was clear and very curious. And I thought, you know, maybe I can set a GPS waypoint for where we were hanging out at the beach. And if I could somehow acquire a metal detector, we could come back the next day, we could try to find the ring. And I was thinking about that and thinking, all right, it can't be that hard to buy a metal detector, but I don't really want to own a metal detector. I have enough stuff. I do not want to own a metal detector, and I thought, maybe I could borrow one, maybe I can rent one. And we passed a lot of pawn shops on the way to this place. I thought, maybe I could buy it at Walmart, and then I could use it, and then I could sell it at the pawn shop. I'm not sure I want to, like I said, I was very curious about the whole thing. And while I was trying to figure out a creative way to buy and dispose of a metal detector I did not want to transport home from Florida, my wife had been Googling how to rent a metal detector. And she found a very old TripAdvisor post that somebody wrote many years before, where they had a real fun day with their kid, where they were out on the sand looking for stuff with a rented metal detector from a local store. So she called that store up, and the guy, when she talked to him, he was very intrigued by our little dilemma, but also he told us, "I don't have the store anymore. I've long since retired. I don't have that business, and even when I had that business, that was a clock shop. Renting metal detectors is not really a big part of what I do." However, he agreed to meet us the next day, and there was no mention of whether this was going to be a loan, a purchase, a rental. We didn't know that. We just knew that this guy was kind enough to meet us the next morning, and he did. And he shows up and he said, "Let me give you a real thorough instruction on how to use this thing." So he drops a quarter on the sidewalk and he's showing us, well, you know, when you get near something valuable, you do this, and then there's this special fine-tune adjustment. If you think you're onto something, it makes like this noise. And we were so excited to take it down to the beach. And our excitement immediately got dashed when I realized that the waypoint that I set was actually in waist-deep water and was not going to be helpful at all. And I was hoping to myself, well, I know I didn't set it incorrectly, but perhaps the waypoint is really for not finding stuff you lost at the beach. It's more like finding your car after you've been on a backcountry hike, something like that. So I was energized again, thinking we still have a shot. So we decided, let's just figure out our approximate location of where we were, and we would just work our way out very slowly and very deliberately, very obsequiously. I don't know how many points I'm going to lose for that. I wasn't going to say it. So we start, and immediately the thing starts squawking. And she's digging around in the sand, and in like 30 seconds comes up with my ring. And we were so happy, we were so relieved, and we were grateful for our good luck. And we went and gave the metal detector back to the guy, and we gave him some money for his trouble. And the whole thing, it reinforced what we already knew, and that is that the time that we spent, the time and money that we spent on this problem wasn't nearly as important as the satisfaction in having this problem and solving it together and being able to erase the bad feelings about its loss together. And clearly to us, that was worth a lot. Thank you.